goal is to kill 5.5 billion people on the planet, and so the one way they're going to do that is through famine. And anytime famine hits, it hits hard in the Middle East, it'll hit hard in Africa, it'll hit hard in the Middle East. There will be a famine in the Middle East, probably because of the wars that are coming there, or just the effects of war that's already there. It will come over to America. I don't know when, I don't know how bad it will be here. And it may not come any time before martial law hits here. We may see martial law before famine hits here. It's really kind of hard to place when exactly this famine will hit. But just to know that there is going to be a famine here. I know in one instance, everything's going well, there's no worries, and then boom, the tribulation starts. And so, the tribulation kind of catches people off guard, and it's kind of going on, and people don't even notice it's upon them, because there's, nothing's happened yet that they recognize, because the Bible says it's be as in the days of Noah, and as the days of Noah, they were partying and marrying and going out to daily lives like nothing was going on, and then the flood came. Boom, it started raining. What's this rain? And so that's pretty much going to be the way it is here. The tribulation will be starting, and people will, what do you mean? What do you mean the tribulation starting? When did it start? What have I missed? They won't understand that the tribulation period has started. So I don't know exactly when this famine will hit. I do know that the great earthquake will happen after this Maitreya arrives, after Satan arrives on earth. Great earthquake around the world, going to decimate a lot of cities, a lot of countries, especially Israel. I've seen that in the Bible codes. It's going to do a lot of destruction between this earthquake and the famine that's coming. Perhaps it's this earthquake that causes such a famine because food can't be transported to stores or marketplaces where people are. Everything's in so much destruction that it causes a total disruption of the food chain and getting food to stores. I don't know. But I know, I spend a lot of time on this Maitreya and focusing on this stuff, and that's just what the Lord has me focus on, folks, because I know, we're looking at a situation right now in the world where Israel's waiting for America to start World War III, and America's saying, no, you start it. And Israel's, no, you start it. America's, no, you start it. And this Maitreya is going to come and proclaim himself as God and say, I'll start it. and so that's one, that's just the way, they've used the name of God to implement wars throughout 6,000 years. They're not going to stop now. This Maitreya that's coming, and I posted an article to my list this week about Iran. It was on the Iranian website, and they're claiming that their Mahdi will defeat the archenemy in Jerusalem. And their Mahdi is the same as this Maitreya, and you can read about it at Share International, their main website. I think it's shareintl.org. And they say that the Shiite Messiah will kill archenemy Jerusalem, could come during spring equinox. And I imagine that would be around May or June. I've always touted those months as the most popular when this Maitreya will arrive. May, June, and July. Any time between March and September, that time frame. Because his ultimate time would be during Passover. And so, other than March, dominant months, March and April, are May, June, July. Read some of this. And they claim he will appear all of a sudden on the world scene with a voice from the skies announcing his reappearance at the Holy Kaaba in Mecca. The Islamic Republic of Iran broadcasting website said in a program called The World Towards Illumination that the Mahdi will appear in Mecca and form an army to defeat Islam's enemies in a series of apocalyptic battles in which the Mahdi will overcome his arch-villain in Jerusalem. Okay. And this is the same thing Share International says about this Maitreya, that he will come to the world scene at once. And you can read about this. I also have it at my SherryTalkRadio.com website. This is how they describe him. He has been expected for generations by all of the major religions. Christians know him as the Christ and expect his imminent return. Jews await him as the Messiah. Hindus look for the coming of Krishna. Buddhists expect him as Maitreya Buddha. And Muslims anticipate the Imam Mahdi or Messiah. The names may be different, but many believe they all refer to the same individual, the world teacher, whose name is Maitreya. Preferring to be known simply as the teacher, Maitreya has not come as a religious leader or to found a new religion, but as a teacher and guide for people of every religion and those of no religion. At this time of great political, economic, and social crisis, Maitreya will inspire humanity to see itself as one family and create a civilization based on sharing, economic, and social justice and global cooperation. He will launch a call to action to save the millions of people who starve to death every year in a world of plenty. Among Maitreya's recommendations will be a shift in social priorities so that adequate food, housing, clothing, education, and medical care become universal rights. And so this is some of the stuff, some of the info they're touting about this Maitreya coming, also claiming to be Buddha, Hare Krishna. I find it interesting that the Iranians themselves claim that Maitreya will come with Jesus, that he isn't claiming to be Jesus, claiming Maitreya is the name for Christ, but even the Iran claims that he's coming with Jesus, that Jesus is going to be his lieutenant, and that they're going to work together. And so, if that were the case, that would pretty much take care of both positions of an Antichrist and false prophet. And it totally wouldn't even be in human hands at that point. There would not be a human Antichrist. There would be no need for George Bush or Al Gore or Javier Solana or any one of these humans to die and come back as the Antichrist. And that's always what the churches have taught. That the Antichrist would be a human leader and that he would die and come back. And if that's the case, I'm not ruling it out, because there's always three different routes Satan can use. The leader of Babylon would fulfill that position, and so who is the leader of Babylon? You can start arguments there. Is it the Pope? Is it Prince Charles? Is it President Bush? Is it going to be the United Nations? The leader of the last day superpower, according to the Old Testament prophets, would fulfill this role. And so there's always a spiritual level and a physical level on which all things exist and all things are implemented. Things that happen in the spiritual world will happen here on the physical world, on earth. And so you never know if you're looking at things happening behind the scenes. When the veil's lifted and we're going to see the fourth dimension merge with the third dimension, then we'll actually see this Maitreya and the Sananda coming claiming to be Jesus, them working together to conquer the world. And at this point, it is Jesus who is this Sananda, who is Satan, because there's two of them, and it's always this Jesus, the Sananda, that is Satan himself. But if that doesn't happen, and like I said, you can't pinpoint exactly how they're going to do things until they do things, until they start implementing things, because they'll plan things that don't come to fruition and are never implemented. They'll also do things to just keep you on rabbit trail so you never know what's coming, so you're not prepared. But that's pretty much some of the dominant things that I see in the Bible codes all the time, is that, 2009, 2010, they will arrive. A lot of people in Iran sit here saying they're coming in spring, and I can just see Satan behind the scenes, tell him I'm coming, and they don't live in linear time like we do, and so the spiritual realm doesn't live in linear time, and so their time's a little bit different than ours. And also they have the people watching and waiting for